Hey guys, welcome to week 2. Hope you guys are doing really well as always. I really enjoyed reading through the Google form responses last week, reading about kind of the things you guys are struggling with, but also the things that make you happy and alive. And I appreciate those of you who filled that form out. It really made me feel a little bit more like I was part of your lives. I did a similar thing this week, but I changed applets. Instead of using a Google form, we're going to use a Padlet. I think that just gives a little bit more freedom to write in what you want and not. So I encourage you to do that. You guys are in contact with each other, hopefully, but I don't get to hear from you that often, so this is kind of my way of staying in contact with you. I really truly do miss being in my classroom with all of you. There's a reason I'm a teacher, and I miss having that, so do me that favor and kind of just keep me up to date with how you are. So a couple of you had asked, and I really appreciate this, how I am. I'm doing pretty good. Still trying to get used to everything that's going on, but also get used to how I'm supposed to be a teacher when I don't even get to see my students every day. Things change daily, as you probably have an idea of. And so it's just keeping up with everything and trying to do the best I can to make sure that you guys are ready for the AP exam, because that really is my #1 priority right now. So I'm doing okay, just trying to get used to stuff. Over in the corner, I'm going to point you. This is my one in-person student. She's very lazy. Pretty much grooms and sleeps all day. So you guys are much better students, but she's keeping me company. So anyway, so that's kind of how I am. Thankfully I'm healthy. Thankfully I don't have to worry about not having a job. My brother drives to and from work every day. He works at a science museum, and he's kind of one of the only people still going in every day because he's the film put together videos for their online content. So he's having a harder time of things. So I'm thankful for the job that I have. So that's how I am. And yeah, so I'm going to go on. Hopefully you guys watched the video of Miss Johnson that she sent out the other day where she explained a little bit about the grading process. All of that is very obviously new and things that are changing on the daily, because as they come out with stuff, people are like, well, what about this? And they're like, oh yeah, we need to address that. So they just know that it's still all new to all of us. And she basically, Miss Johnson, told us, the teachers, about it, I think the day before she sent out that video. So it's all still very new to us. So we're working through it, but just do know what she said in there is true. Our #1 goal is to make sure that you guys are getting the credit that you deserve as much as we can. So I'm gonna err on the side of passing if at all possible. So just to kind of go through what that looks like, it's still a little unsure to me. I have a question out there. I'm not really sure how they're going to take your existing 5th, 6 weeks grades from before spring break and turn those into P's and F's and M's, I guess. I don't know if they're going to do each individual assignment or if they're going to look at it on a weekly basis. I don't know, but I'm trying to make sure that your gradebooks, if you've been in Hack at all, you may have noticed I've kind of changed things, especially if you have missing homework. I'm trying to figure out how to deal with that. But my main thing is, if you pass the test, I don't want your homeworks to end up counting against you or making you in danger of failing. And I don't know how they're going to turn those grades into P's and F's when they do it. So I went through, and if you pass the test, I replaced your homeworks with an equivalent percentage-wise passing grade, because it is what it is. And I want to make sure that you guys are getting the credit you deserve. And if you pass the test, to me, that means you showed mastery. So there's that. That's my mom's text tone. Anyways, so then for those of you who failed test, or the couple of you that did not take that Unit 10 test, I finished creating kind of an alternate version or online version of it's kind of a 5th, 6 weeks test as a whole. It's going to act as how those of you who missed the test will kind of get that grade in, and it's also going to act for anybody who failed one test or both badly enough to where I feel like you might be in danger of having too many F's or too many fails for the 5th, 6 weeks. I'm going to email you directly. So I'm going to email you, check your school email for if you have that opportunity, or if I feel like you need to take this alternate version of the test for 5th, 6 weeks to hopefully bring up your grades to where you have enough P's for 5th, 6 weeks to hopefully balance out everything else. If I don't email you about that, just know that that means you're in good shape. You have enough P's. It looks like you're going to be fine for 5th, 6 weeks. If that changes at any point, I will let you know. And hopefully, I'm pretty sure the district is going to be pretty lenient in terms of timing to make sure that you guys have the opportunity to bring those grades up if you need to. But if I don't email you, just know that means you're in good shape and you're passing and you shouldn't have to worry about anything. So that's kind of what's going on. I'm also going to go back into 4th, 6 weeks and do a similar thing. So anybody who failed 4th, 6 weeks, I will email you and let you know what that process looks like. I haven't made a 4th, 6 weeks alternate or retake or whatever yet, but I will. So be on the lookout for that. AP exam grading process, I put that in as a comment on last week's slide deck in Google Classroom. So if you haven't read through that, you might want to read through it. But basically just know that the feedback that I give you on your assignments, don't freak out too much about it. I want you to know what that would be scored as in terms of AP exam. But one thing you should know is that typically on AP exam, the grades are curved pretty highly. So usually on a typical AP exam, if you get about half the points, that's enough to get you around a 3. And usually 70 to 75% of the points is enough to get you a 5, and then 4 somewhere in between. Now, that may change this year just because we don't have multiple choice. We only have free response. So that may change more in your favor to where you need less points to get a 3 or a 4 or 5, or it might be the other way. I really don't know, and to be honest, I don't think they know either. Typically what they do is a very statistical process, is they kind of take a random sample of tests, score them, see how that distribution looks, and then from there decide what grades are going to count for 3s, 4s, and 5s. So they're very statistical about their process of AP exam grading. So I don't 100% know what that's going to look like, but I'm going to I want you to know what's typically done in the past and for you to take it from there. So as you read through the feedback, definitely look at that, read it. If there's something you don't understand, let me know. Some of you have done that, which is great. I want you to learn from that feedback so that you know how to change it on the real AP exam. But just know that as far as your passing failing for the high school class, as long as you turn something in and I can see that you've attempted it, you're going to get a pass. So those scores are not going to directly relate to pass or fail. If you do it and I can see that you tried it, you're going to pass. That feedback is more for you to really know where you're at and things you need to work on and maybe where you want to improve or bring points up. I also put up the AP exam kind of free response grading guideline on the last slide deck, and I put it on this slide deck too. It's on the page with the classwork. No, it's on the page with the homework, I think, or the at-home assignment. Anyway, it's on one of the pages where I explain the grading process of how you get those points. So like the 4 points for a question, 3, 2, 1, or 0. I kind of explain generally what that process looks like so that you're familiar. So make sure you watch that if you didn't watch it last week. So that's kind of AP exam grading. If you have more questions or if you need more help with things, please let me know. I'm glad to help. I appreciate those of you that kind of ask me questions and reminding me of things or whatever. It kind of tells me that you are concerned and you want to know and how to do better. So, yeah. So other than that, it was a lot of talking. I feel like I've said about 1,000 million times. Side note, as I've been creating videos, especially the classwork ones, I go through and edit them, and I try to edit out all the ums because I say a lot. And I realize that when I listen to myself or watch myself on a video. It's very fun to do that. So anyway, last thing is just make sure you're keeping up to date. Check College Board's coronavirus updates website just for anything new that they put out, any more information that they give us. I'll kind of check it too and give you a heads up if I notice anything big, but that's a good place to look. They also have provided some resources. There's some links to videos and things like that. So keep an eye out for that. I'm going to continue to assign stuff in Khan Academy and AP Classroom, because all of that, any extra review you do is going to be helpful in prepping you for the AP exam. So I'll continue to assign that, but just know that it's completely that's up to you whether you do it or not. It's not an expectation. It's not going into your grade for this class at all. It's just for you to do extra stuff. So all of that will still be happening. And as I come up with, if I find more, I'm getting emailed a lot about other resources for AP exam that are now free because of coronavirus. So as I get those things, I'll try to keep adding those to the supplemental resources, and that way you can pick and choose what things work best for you. But there's lots and lots of stuff out there, so I encourage you guys to either look for them yourself or just keep an eye out on that supplemental page on the last slide of the slide deck, because I will link stuff there. So anyways, I have blabbered on long enough. This video is now 10 minutes long. Sorry. Hope you guys are having a great week. I hope to hear from you in the Padlet for your weekly check-in. Have a great day and a great week, and I will see you next time.